Alright, hey, how we doing? Today I'm going to show you how to do this really cute baby bib. What I used was a 6.5 millimeter hook, scraps yarn in both black and white, in Red Heart Super Saver. I also used Bernat blanket brights in navy blue. I absolutely love this type of yarn. It is so soft. So I thought I would take and use it, and instead of doing a blanket, went ahead and did a baby bib. And then went ahead and did little mouth and two eyes. I thought would be really cute. Okay, I'm going to start by doing a chain 24. And once we get that chain 24, we're going to start in the second chain from the hook and do every other chain a double crochet. Okay, I'll get back to you here in a minute and I will show you what it'll look like at the end of the row. Okay, I'm down here at the end of the row, and let me explain the reason why that I chose to do every other chain. The reason being is because of the thickness of this yarn will make it, I don't know, just not look right. So I thought by doing every other chain it would make it look fuller and nicer and neater. So that's why I chose to do every other chain. In case you're trying to figure out why I did that such thing. I accidentally bumped my little tripod, so sorry about that. Didn't mean to make it move. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do a chain 2 once we get at the end of the round or the row. And we'll proceed by doing a double crochet all the way across the rest of that row. Okay, I'll get back to you down at the end of this row. Now I wanted to share with you, I don't know if you've heard of it, but I think it's called Crochet Council or something of this nature, that I found on the internet. And they are very close to the measurements that you would need for any project that you do. I go on it periodically because I want to make sure that when I make the items that I'm making, that I'm trying to make it to as close as possible as far as for the age is concerned. Now according to this, it stated that I needed it to be 17 inches to go across the actual chest. So basically I did 17 and a half. That's just the way it worked out. Okay, we're down here at the end of the row, and we're going to continue by doing just like how we did in the previous row, by doing a chain 2 here at the end of the row. And once we do that chain 2, we'll go ahead and do double crochet through the rest of that row. And we'll be doing this for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, looks like 11 rows, but I'm going to make sure by us continuing as we're going. Hey, while I had you on pause, I went ahead and counted the rows, and it was 10 rows, not 11. I just wanted to clarify that. Now, I don't know if you, but me personally, I like the more not so robotic type feel whenever I watch a video. So I hope I'm not irritating anyone, because that's not my personality. I don't like to irritate people. I like to be direct but also honest. So hopefully me doing the way I'm doing my videos, you'll understand what I'm saying. Alright, I went ahead and did a chain 2 down at the end, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll continue for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, next 6 rows by making sure we do a chain 2 at the beginning of each row, and of course turning, proceeding by doing a a double crochet in each of the chains. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've finished all 10 rows of double crochet, We will then go ahead and start doing the part that goes around the actual neck. Now again, I looked on the Yarn Council for this information, and the newborn head is basically around 13.5 inches. So basically I did a 14.5 to give just a little bit more room to slide over the head, even though the yarn itself actually gives a little bit. So because of it giving, I just only did an inch more, which basically is one more row. And anyways, once I did that, then I went ahead and attached it to the other corner by hand sewing it. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll start by doing that here in just 1 second. Okay, once we finish that last row of 10, we went ahead and do a chain 2. And once you do that chain 2, you go ahead and do a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, once we do that, we go ahead and do another chain 2, and we turn our work around, of course. And do another half double crochet in each of the stitches that go across here. Okay, we'll do it again. We'll do another chain 2. Turn our work and go back the other direction by doing a half double crochet. Okay, we'll repeat this process to the desired length that we're wanting. Which is basically 28 rows. Okay, again, once we are done doing that 28th row, we'll simply sew it on with a yarn needle, or if you want, you can do a slip stitch. Whatever's easier for you. Okay, once I get to that 28th row, I'll be right back with you. Okay, as you can see here, it's fairly neatly done. Don't even see any of the sewing in at all on either side. Okay, next we're going to do the eyes, which is fairly easy. We'll simply take Red Heart Super Saver white yarn, and we will take a smaller hook, which this is a 4.5 millimeter hook. It does not have any initials on it, but I've measured it against another one, and that's what it said. We'll go ahead and do a chain 2, which that's my go-to whenever I am doing anything that requires me to do a circle. I like it better than the magic circle, which basically is a chain 4 and then you slip stitch into the first chain and it makes a little circle and then you just go in the circle. I like this way better. Okay, what you do is we go ahead and do a total of 5 half double crochets in the second chain. It might be a little bit tricky at first for you if you're not used to doing this type of stitching instead of doing the magic loop. Feel free to do the same. You know, if you want to change it to a magic loop, that's up to you. Just make sure, oops, make sure that you do 5 half double crochets. That's all that matters to me. This first little row round here is always a doozy for me. I always struggle with it. I don't know about you. I wish there's a way we can figure out where it wouldn't be so hard. But you're always having to fight to either keep the hook on the yarn or to keep it from separating. There's always a reason for something. Okay, now that we have the 5 half double crochets, we'll go ahead and do a slip stitch into that first half double crochet. Next, we'll go ahead and just do a chain 1. We're going to do a continuous round, and by we're doing that, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in each of the stitches. Okay, I will see you back at the end. Okay, in this next round, we'll go ahead and we'll do a chain 1. Then we'll do a half double crochet in the first stitch, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next, and then 2 in the next. And we'll repeat this process until we get a total of 15 half double crochets. Okay, I'll see you at the end. Okay, in our next round, we'll do a chain 1, and this time we're going to do a half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then in that third stitch we'll do 2 half double crochets. Okay, and we'll do that process until we reach 20 half double crochets total. Just be sure to do a single half double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then that third stitch do 2 and make an increase. Okay, don't worry about if it folds up, just like how you just seen how mine's doing. The reason being is because of how tight I'm doing my stitching. Just don't fret it, just lie it flat, and once you go to hand sew it in, it'll be fine. So no worries. It's just over in time, you know, eventually you'll learn how to not crochet as tight or as loose when making things, which me personally, I tend to do it tight all the time. Okay, once we're doing it to 20 half double crochets, we will go ahead and do a slip stitch in the next stitch, and then we will leave a tail so we can sew it on. Okay, once we do that, we'll go ahead and take the black. We could either go ahead and sew this on now, or we can go ahead and just do the pupil of the eye, which is what I would like to do for time's sake. Alright, now, same thing as before, we're going to go ahead and do a chain 2, and again, if you're not comfortable with doing a chain 2, feel free to do a magic loop. Once we do that chain 2, we will now go ahead and do 4 half double crochets into the second chain from the hook. Okay, once that is done, oops, we will go ahead and just continue doing our round by doing 2 half double crochets in each of the stitches, which will total of 8 half double crochets total. Okay, for some reason I am struggling, so just give me a moment. Okay, once we get the 8 half double crochets all together, we'll kind of pull on it a little bit so it's not so loose. We want it to be tight. We will then go ahead and do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet to kind of make it more secure and round. Again, we'll go ahead and make sure we add enough at the end so we can hand sew it in to the eye. Sometimes I take and cut this piece right here off. You don't have to. You could easily just tuck it away when you go ahead and hand sew it, however you want to do it. Just be sure that you don't go too close, because then it'll start unraveling and you don't want to do that. Okay, next we'll go ahead and place it on the eye where you're wanting it to be. And in this case, I want it to look like he's cross-eyed. So we'll take a yarn needle and go ahead and hand sew it in. Just simply by going all around along the edges. No rhyme or reason, just as long as it's there and it's secure and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, once we get all that hand sewed in, we will go ahead and place the eye on the actual item, which in this case it is a bib. I am trying to get this to go through my actual yarn. I guess this needle, the head part of it, is just a little bit too big maybe. I don't know. But I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to have fun. Just like I say every time I do something with you guys. So I want everyone to have fun. This is a fun thing to do. It's something to relax. Not think about anything. Just think about what you're doing, which is right in front of you, and that is it. Alright, now that we have that done, I always go ahead and take and slide it in and make it come out the other side. So this way it's securely in there. I don't have to worry about it unfixing or whatever. Which most of the time it does not unfix for me. However, you can simply do a little knot. That's entirely up to you, however you're wanting to do it. Okay? Now we'll go ahead and we'll place this on the actual item, which we'll do right here. You just simply, wherever you feel like the eye would need to be, you just place it and then simply just sew it in, which for time's sake I'm going to try not to do because I've already taken enough of your time. Next, in a minute, we'll go ahead and we'll learn how to do the mouth for the actual monster. Okay, next we're going to learn how to do this mouth right here. And these little sharp little teeth that we're putting on here. Okay, what you do is you simply do a chain 24. And we're going to use that same small hook that we were using just a little bit ago to do the eyes, and that's the 4.5mm hook. Okay, once you do your chain 24, we will then go ahead and start doing a single crochet by chaining one and then single crocheting in the second chain from the hook. And once we get done by doing this row here, we will go ahead and do another chain one and then proceeding by going back down the next row of doing a single crochet in the first 7 stitches, Once we're on the 7th stitch, we'll go ahead and do a chain 5. Once we do that chain 5, we will go back down the chain by doing a slip stitch in the first 2, and then in the 3rd chain we will do a single crochet, a half double crochet in the next, and then a slip stitch back down on to attach to the actual row. Okay, as you can see, it's a really nice point. We will then go ahead and do a slip stitch into the next stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a chain 4. We will then go back down the chains by doing a single crochet in the first, a single crochet in the second, half double crochet in the third, and then a slip stitch into the next stitch. Slip stitch in the next stitch, single crochet in the next, single crochet in the next, then we'll do a chain 4. Go back down the chain by doing a slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and then a slip stitch onto the next stitch on the actual mouth. Okay, you can either do another tooth like how I did on the pictured by doing a slip stitch in the next stitch, then a single crochet in the next, and a single crochet in the next one, chain 5, and back down this chains, do a slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet in the next, half double crochet in the last, and then a slip stitch into the mouth itself. Now you will go ahead and do single crochet in each of the stitches of the remaining of the row. Okay, I know that it looks kind of sloppy right now, but once you get it sewed onto the actual monster face itself, it will look so much better. Do a slip stitch and be sure to add enough yarn before you cut it so you can be able to sew it onto the face. Okay, as you can see here, nice little fangs. All you do is just simply hand sew it onto the face where you want it to be. Alright, well, thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate your time and your effort into joining with me. Please subscribe to my channel, and of course comment or like. I would really appreciate the feedback. Alright, thank you so much. You have a good day. Alright, bye.